Welcome to Tanked Up, the podcast all about video games and craft beer. I'm Ben, and I'm here with Lucy.
Hello. Hello, Ben.
Hey, it's just the two of us this
Yeah,
week.
just the two. I'm not going to sing.
After a couple of weeks of having guests, we thought we'd just hang out, chill out together.
Very nice guess. Very
Yes.
glad they're on. Yeah. And the deal is still in Canada. So,
He is back next week?
no idea.
I don't know.
Now that Brexit isn't happening, he may be back, but...
Fucking hope so. So, Lucy, what are you going to drink this week?
This week, I am going to drink a beer that I've had before.
Okay.
It's been a while. This is from Magic Rock, because I'm still selling out. It's called Grower Owned. It's an IPA. Might have seen it before. It's been around for quite some time. The malts are Golden Promise, Wheat Malt, and Aromatic Malt. The hops are T90, Cascade, Citra, Mosaic, and Simcoe / Cryo TM. Citra, Mosaic, and Simcoe. Yeast is WLP066, London Fog Ale. It's 6% ABV. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's in a 500ml can.
Nice. I would imagine it's still a beer that's been out before the acquisition, or at least before the acquisition was made public, I suppose. It'd be interesting to see how anything, whether it is just a case of we own you now, so everything that you make, irrelevant of whether it was brewed yesterday or before or whatever, goes now, to whatever that split will be. So, maybe you haven't quite sold out quite yet.
Yeah. It's been around for probably last year, maybe. I think I had it first. So for all the listeners, it's in a like lime green and like little splashes of dark green can.
I've definitely seen it in the bottle shop, seen it posted on social media and things from people enjoying it. But yeah, maybe the latter half of last year, maybe 6 months or so, perhaps.
Yeah, I think the name meant something particular, but I'd have to Google that. Not anymore. They've been acquired. Nothing.
Yes, people who haven't been acquired, or so I would come to believe, unless things have happened that I don't know about. I don't know about everything. I'm having collaboration from Wylam and Other Half. Is there music in your dreams? It's a 8.2% double IPA, and the hops are Ella T90, Citra Cryo, Idaho 7 T90, and Denali T90. It says it's got barley, gluten, and wheat. Doesn't tell me about the yeast or the rest of the malts. So there we go.
That's all right.
Yeah.
This one on their website, it says it was an IPA collaboration with Yakima Chief. Hoppy Union. Yeah, so it's a collab beer. Yeah, they use lupulin powder and a dry hop. Super fruity. A little aromatic malt and some wheat was added to the mash. Smooth out the mouthfeel. Yeah, just looking at it when I poured it, I mean, it's completely hazy. Nothing coming out. It's a beautiful colour. Like light orange. Very, very, very light amber. The head like kind of changed consistency. It was very frothy and like foamy to begin with, and now it's bubbles are a bit bigger. It's a bit more watery head. It's dissipated quite quickly. Yeah. It was a good 2 finger when I poured it, and now it's probably half finger now. That's interesting.
Just that initial pop, that initial carbonation, which has kind of given that real fizz to it, I suppose.
Yeah. So when they were saying, "Oh yeah, it looked." When it says it's got a smooth mouthfeel to it, it definitely looked like that as soon as he poured it out the can. Looks like that juice bomb. But now it looks like it's going to be a little bit lighter, which is nice.
That's good. That's good.
Doesn't look too dissimilar to yours,
I know.
It?
I was just, as soon as you started saying it, I thought, actually, mine may be a little bit paler.
Yeah.
It's a little more sort of straw. It doesn't quite have that orange tinge to it. It's a little more sort of yellowy straw kind of colour. As soon as I cracked that beer, I could just get hit with the hops. Lovely fruit flavour there. But there seems to be just like a little kind of sweetness in that nose as well. Maybe that's just coming through from that slightly sweeter fruit, perhaps. Maybe it's going to be a bit more stone fruity. I don't know yet. I don't know. But it's almost got no head whatsoever on there. I poured too much in to see whether it laces much, but it does a little bit. I can see that in a minute. But there wasn't much head at all when I poured it either.
Yeah.
So this doesn't have that change in consistency as yours does. But it's just got such a lovely nose. Just such a nice.
Mine too. Definitely getting like passion fruit, like really strong passion fruit. Ooh, that's lovely. And orange, mango. Yeah, this is a proper smelling beer. You know,
nice.
This is what you want your IPA to smell like. I haven't tasted it yet. How's yours?
Oh, I have tasted it.
Savouring the aroma.
It's like I've taken 2 big swigs already. I mean, it's really nice. You're getting that tropical fruit, but it is a little bit danker, perhaps. It doesn't quite hit you as, say, like a juice bomb would. And it's got such a good bitterness to it. Like, I don't know if that's what sort of Other Half have brought along, you know, that sort of like West Coast bitterness to the beer. But that's absolutely lovely. That bitterness is lingering as well. Super easy to drink. Could be stone fruits in there. I don't know. It's one of those where you start to get a sense of what the different flavors are, and that bitterness just sort of like sweeps in and just takes over, and then lingers and lingers and lingers. And that is the sort of like the memorable part of it. You know, that's the thing that's kind of jumped out to me the most about this. That there is definitely a nice beer in there, which I would imagine without that heft of bitterness would still be a very pleasant beer to have. But that bitterness just makes this like next level completely.
Yeah. Do we have the same beer? Because I'm feeling very much like that as well. Like,
really?
Yeah, the bitterness on this, it's so bitter, and it's, you know, we love our bitterness, so that's not a bad thing around these parts. Yeah, it's so bitter that it's like half dry and half not. It's like the bitterness just makes it feel so dry, and the bitterness has a really long tail. I mean, it's still there, and it's still really strong. Sometimes it like dissipates slowly, but now it's like really strong. And you know what Adil always, you know, alludes to, it's like when it's so bitter, it's like you just want to take another swig of it just to try and quell that bitterness. But the same thing happens over again when you take another swig. But the fruit's very much there at the front, and just because of that, it's so fruity, like all those tropical hits as well. Just because of that fruit, it just balances so well with the bitterness at the end, where it doesn't feel like, oh my god, I'm in like the Sahara, and it's like proper drying you out. You can still don't need to take another sip. It is quite dry, but it's not to the point where it's like, oh my god, I need another sip. You can just happily sit there with the bitterness.
I feel exactly the same about this. It's kind of like the back of my mouth, the back of my throat is getting dry, but sort of like the tip of my tongue is still sort of sated.
Yes,
still a little bit of wetness, kind of like right at the front to just kind of allow that lingering sort of taste. And I'm sort of getting a little bit more of the fruits now, maybe a little bit of melon going on in there as well at the moment. Definitely a stone fruit, but I cannot pick out what that is in there. But it just kind of mellows into that just before that bitterness just kind of sweeps through. And
absolutely, like
nice
as you're saying, like
nice and smooth.
As you're saying, like it's at the back of your mouth, which is dry, and it's like the front, like the hoppiness on this is it's just, it's still on your tongue slightly, so that kind of gives it that, oh, you know, your back of your mouth like salivating. It's like, oh, I need more, but it's like, oh yes, the fruit and the hops are still at the front, so perfect balance. Yeah, you're saying yours was smooth.
Yeah, it is smooth. It's got a little bit of light carbonation to it, so when you sip it, you get that slightly, very slightly viscous kind of feel, and that carbonation kind of like comes in with the flavour and probably just pushes that fruit flavour just that little bit more. But it's so easy. I would imagine that this would be gone before we've even finished talking about the first thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
Mine's,
Dangerously so. What was it? 8%? 8.2%. So
mine's only 6, so I'm cool. Yeah, mine's less smooth in the mouthful, but that's probably because just like so much hoppiness is going on. So it's not really that juice bomb where it's just like the carbonation and the hops barely even feature sometimes in juice bombs. But this one, yeah, you're getting, you know, what you expect from like an IPA, like that hoppiness, the fruit and the bitterness. So yeah, really, really well balanced.
Nice. Oh, 2 good beers. Well, we don't even need to talk about video games, do we? We could just chill out. So, enjoy our beers.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about something, though. Or we just do like you would do at the pub. Grab your pint, sit quietly, nurse it a little bit, not talk to anybody.
No.
Hide in the corner.
That's generally what I do.
Lucy, let's talk about something. What games have you been playing?
I haven't really played much since we last spoke. I haven't finished Bastion yet. I'm going to get back to it eventually.
Yeah.
I realised that Picross 3 was coming out on the Switch today, which I've already bought. So I had Picross 2 to finish. It's like, I've only done like half the puzzles, and then like within like 2 days I just rinsed them all. And I bought Picross 3, and I'm learning something called Colour Picross, which is a whole new dimension of Picross, and that's going to be interesting.
So this is on the Switch, I assume?
Yes, it's Jupiter. They make Picross, and they make Picross very well, and Picross is cool. I only really discovered it a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But yeah, it's great. I love Picross.
I definitely had some kind of Picross game on the Game Boy. And I can never remember whether it was... Is it Dr. Mario? Is that the Picross one?
No, Dr. Mario's... Unless there's been Dr. Mario Picross that I didn't know about.
Why have I got Dr. Mario in my head? I don't know.
I don't know. You've been taking pills lately.
He's just always there. Just pops up every now and again, just to ruin my recollection of things.
Yeah, but actual game that I played. Not that Picross isn't an actual game, but I was just looking for it because on like Twitter, like there was like 6 demos of like point and click adventures released, and like prologues, and I was just like, I'm gonna play one. Let me find the one that looks the shortest, and it's called Antenna Dilemma from someone called Golosso Games. And it was originally conceived in a game jam, I think maybe last year or something. But yeah, they put out a chapter 1. I imagine that they might have other chapters coming through, but they are a small team, and sometimes it was a free download, so who knows if they have the revenue to continue this story. But it's about half an hour, and you're basically playing as this cuboid human. Imagine a box boy in 3D. And you're basically set on this dystopian society where all they do is watch TV, and they're not allowed to leave their hometown. And there's obviously a big conspiracy cover-up because they have them hooked on TV all day, and that's all they want to do. But yeah, it's just a really witty, well-made pixel art, black and white point-and-click adventure that lasts about half an hour. I just want to play point-and-click adventures from now till the end of time because that's all I want to play. But yeah, it does that good thing where it's like, you're not, pixel hunting. Everything makes sense. It's very small in scope, so it's not like it has 1,000 screens and you have to look for hundreds of objects to combine this and that. It's very straightforward, as are most point-and-click adventure games now, because we all went through, the good old Sierra games and stuff like that, where they're sometimes literally become impossible to figure out. So very streamlined, very easy. Nice. I actually liked it because in most point-and-click adventure games, you're like, I don't know, walking through people's houses, rummaging through their drawers, and like picking up crap and just stealing from them, basically, to like, you know,
just like half an apple.
Yeah,
okay.
combine I don't know, a rubber chicken with a pulley or something like that. So it's in this game, because it has that kind of dystopian future. They kind of make it where it's like, oh, this is ridiculous, but we're going to explain it, because in this weird world they have rules. It's like, oh, if basically the whole thing is that, you know, this cube, you pay this cube and its TV's broken and you have to go fix it. And it's like, oh, I can steal an antenna from a shop because it adheres to this weird rule in our society where if you need to get a new TV, you can steal from a shop, or you can steal money out of a cash register, or you can break into your neighbour's home, and all these different rules. It's like, which all leads back to, oh, I need to get hooked back onto this TV, and it's like, oh, why? This dystopian thing. But it's really cool how it, like, subverts point-and-click adventure. Well, there's really no explanation to why you're doing half the stuff in those games, but it's like, it gives it some context. It's like, okay, I'm allowed to steal all this weird crap from people and abuse people's homes and everything like that, because it adheres to the, you know, confines of the law in this weird dystopia. But yeah, and it's got some nice little puns in it. There's something about Boxeteers. They were like those stupid Boxeteers. They want to leave the Union. And stuff like that. So that made me laugh. Yeah. So.
Is this is it pretty new?
Yeah, I think they just put it out. Was it yesterday?
Oh, wow!
Like that, or the day before?
Yeah,
because I was looking through because there's quite a few adventure games that are like. There's one called Backbone, which they put out prologue. That's like pixel art and like has this raccoon detective, which looks cool. There's some other game called Luna, which has like really, really amazing hand drawn. And they were just like retweeting each other. It's like, yeah, go play this, go play that. We all put out a demo, this and that. But yeah, it was free, and I was like, yeah,
that's cool. So it was episode 1, right?
Yeah, chapter 1. God knows when.
Chapter 1. Okay. So did it end it on like a relatively kind of like open ending, or did it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Massive cliffhanger, like of broken age proportions. So.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, that's good. Yeah. That's good to know. Oh, this sounds good. What was it? Atlas? No, Aerial Diminished.
That's a good name. Antenna Dilemma.
There we go.
If the chapter 2 isn't called what do you say? Antenna Diminished.
Something like Aerial Diminished.
Yeah, Aerial Diminished. I'm going to tweet at them. It's like, you've got a good name for your chapter 2 or 3.
And they're like, no, sorry, this is the name of our game. We can't change it.
Yeah, they said chapter 2 is coming soon, but that's a nebulous time frame. Who knows?
Very much. I mean,
cool.
It's so I know you played Agent A, which was a like a point and click, sort of spy thriller type game, and like the first 4 episodes, I think, came out in quite a reasonable kind of time frame between each other.
There were ages between each other, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, because I was going to say episode 5 still isn't out. It just says 2019. So
yeah, they took years. It was years and years and years between them. What was frustrating about the first couple ones was that your progress didn't carry over. So it was like you were playing it from the start. And it was like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, but despite all of that, it's it was a very good, like, especially for free, like point and click game. So yeah, but those were fun.
Nice. Hopefully, Antenna Dilemma doesn't have that issue of having.
I was like, what do you mean? It's Aerial Diminished. What do you want to know?
Done. That's what it's going to be from now on. That's nice. I mean, I haven't played a point and click for ages.
I love them, man.
So it's good to find one that's kind of like a little bit shorter, but still holds you and has a good narrative, sort of like through line, pushing you through, giving you that kind of context to what you're doing. Have really thought about kind of what's going on. What did you play it on?
Steam. Yeah.
Okay.
Free download on Steam. Yeah. Often it might be on itch.io. I'm not sure, but it's definitely on Steam. But yeah, often I just go to itch.io and it's like set it by tags, pixel art, point and click, short, and I'm like, just bring them all to me. Like, not in the mood for playing long games, so just give me,
I want all the 10-minute point and click games I can get in the next 3 hours.
Yeah, just give them to me, feed them into my veins.
Nice. So is that the only thing you've kind of sunk your teeth into, really? Apart from
other than Picross, pretty much.
Yeah, it's fair. I've had a similar sort of week. I hadn't played much at all, just because work had been so busy, and with the bank holiday and stuff as well. I've just been having like family time and then trying to get as much work done in the last couple of days as possible. I've got to have tomorrow off as well, because my partner told me she was off to Edinburgh. And I'm like, oh yeah, shit, okay. I've got to have Eve for the day.
You lucky she told you.
Just wakes me up at 3:30, like, I'm off to get a flight, see ya.
Like, where?
Cool.
Why?
yeah. So it's kind of trying to cram in as much as possible. I did find a little bit of time today to play a couple of games, just a little bit of each. And these are two games that I've kind of picked up and put down like continuously, or one of them continuously since December, and the other one only for a couple of weeks, but both of which I kind of want to talk about because I got review code for both of them.
Nice.
But because they're the kind of game where I've been like, I'll play a little bit now and then put it back down and then come back to it for a few weeks and then pick it up. I haven't rushed through them to kind of get any kind of review written or anything. And I haven't finished either of them yet. But I've been playing kind of against each other, Dangerous Driving and Project Warlock. So two very different games. So Dangerous Driving is the next game from Three Fields Entertainment, who did Danger Zone 2. They used to work for Criterion on the Burnout games. Dangerous Golf, yes. And the other one, Project Warlock, is a first-person shooter, but blocky pixel art style, like Doom clone, serious sound type clone.
I thought that was like a top-down real-time strategy game.
There's one. Is there one Serious Sam which is a first-person? I'm sure I've played a Serious Sam which is a first-person shooter.
Yeah,
I'm sure I have.
I've never played Serious Sam, but I'm sure that.
One of the games I'm really enjoying. One of the games I'm not enjoying as much. So, which one do you want to hear about, Lucy?
I want to hear about Project Warlock. Yeah.
Right. So, I'll talk about Dangerous Driving in a bit. So, Project Warlock. That's the game I'm really enjoying.
Yes.
It's a first-person shooter. It's pixel art. It evokes all of the early kind of like Doom, Wolfenstein style games. The soundtrack's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's got, like ripping guitars, and then it will kick into like this cool sort of like synthwave type thing for for one level, and then kick back to something else. Works really well. But it's one of those where you're just exploring the map, going around. Very kind of like maze, corridor, room-based sort of style. You need to collect keys to open doors to progress. You've got a variety of different weapons. I bounced off of it through my first playthrough.
Yeah.
Because I think you start out with a couple of weapons, and I just wasn't in that like mind frame to be like, this is a quick reflex kind of shooter. I need to be like on it. Things are just in your face really quickly. And suddenly, once I'd got the hang of it, I started to churn through it quite quickly. I've no idea what difficulty setting I put it on, but I'm playing through on whatever setting I put it on. There's probably 25 different difficulty settings for it, but I'm finding that there's a little bit of an upgrade sort of system to it, so you can pick up weapons. You've also got a secondary kind of spell, so you've got like a mana pool as well for doing certain things. And obviously you collect them as you go through the level. What I find really good about it is you can't just run through with one weapon continuously. You could, but different enemies react to different weapons differently. So I picked up a flamethrower, and on that level were a bunch of flamethrower guys. You try and flame them, and it takes absolutely ages to kill them, because obviously they're in like flame retardant suits because they've got flamethrowers. Whereas the normal guys that are in there with like crossbows that are just sort of like edging up to you and just sort of fire, they go down quite easily with the flamethrower. Different enemies take different shotgun hits versus using like the magical staff that you've got, or an energy sort of weapon and things. So it does really well in making you kind of change up your tactics almost. But
do you have like a weapon wheel, or is it just like you can only carry so many?
No, it's bound to the number keys.
Right.
So number 1 is melee weapons. Number 2 is a magic staff. Number 3 is there's 2 a pistol and a magic staff. Anyway, they work their way through. So you've got a couple of different shotguns, like a pump action and a double barrel shotgun. You have an Uzi and then like a Gatling gun, which is one that I've just picked up. And then like a crossbow, loads of different weapons. But through the progression system, you pick up, like a skill point when you level up, or you pick up like an ability point on the map somewhere. And the more ability points you have, the more weapons you can kind of almost specialize. So off the top of my head, one of the like the Uzi that you've got. You could either upgrade it so you have 2 Uzis, or you turn it into like an assault rifle almost. Which it's not quite an assault rifle. It like ricochets bullets. I went for 2 Uzis because it's like double firepower, right?
That's always the right answer.
Yeah. So you've got this light progression system to it as well, which is really good. But I've got to a point now where I've leveled up in my strength enough for melee weapons and melee attacks. Plus, I've got a certain perk, which essentially means that I can just run around with my axe, just hacking things to pieces, which is what I did in the last couple of levels. Haven't even fired a single shot. Hopefully, it gets a bit more difficult, or I changed the difficulty setting, I suppose, to not kind of allow me to, just slash my way through.
Yeah, it seems like the kind of game which would pride itself on like difficulty.
Completely. I can only imagine that I've, after banging my head against it a little bit, that I have dropped that difficulty down a little. There are, so it's like mission based. So you go into a map and you make your way through it, and you finish that, and then go into another map, make your way through that, and then you're done. You go back to your kind of your workshop, your home base, and then you can start the next 2 kind of maps. And at the end of each kind of chapter. Of 4 levels, there is like a big boss battle. I'm on the 3rd set of missions, so I've done 2 boss battles so far. Neither of which I would have been able to do by just slashing them. So it does bring you back round to having to use your weapons. The first boss battle, my ass handed to me about 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, no, I will do this. I know how to do this. I'll get it done. The second boss I did the first try, so I didn't quite get that same level of difficult kind of scaling as I have done to my like skill progression. So who knows? Hopefully the 3rd boss will just eat me instantly. I'll be like, all right, that's fine. I suppose.
I'll learn how to play this now.
Completely, but it's such a well-made package. And again, it's from a small team, really small team of developers. I think they're called Buckshot Software, Buckshot Games, maybe. But it actually released on GOG exclusively first.
That's probably why I've heard of the name, but I just didn't know what it was.
And it came out last year, and then it released on Steam. So I got in touch with the developer who put me to his publisher or the guys that were releasing it.
Yeah, Bookshop Software, the dev. Yeah.
And those guys gave me a Steam code because it was basically coming out that week on Steam. And I think I played it for maybe like 20 minutes when within that first sort of week. It's only been maybe like now in the last like 2 or 3 weeks that I've been picking it up a little bit more. That suddenly I'm in that kind of like mind frame for, not like a Division game, not the other things that I kind of, not like Dangerous Driving and stuff. I wanted something that was pretty different to kind of what I'd been playing. Just scroll through my library and like, oh, I really haven't put enough time into this game, so I will. And I'm really happy that I have.
Yeah, it looks like the pixel art looks great. It looks proper like Doom, because quite a few of those games like came out like last year.
Yeah.
Like I remember Dusk was one. What were the other ones?
I don't know. I missed that.
Yeah, there were quite a few that was like, oh, we're going back to like very early like computer graphics. And yeah, having that like first person, like Twitch based, like fighting demons combat, like very red. It's like so many of those came out even the same time. But yeah, this is the first one that I've seen, and it's like, yeah, this is probably more my jam.
Yeah. Well, I think it's one of those that you need to be really kind of tight with what you're doing graphically to distinguish enemies from their environments, to make them all kind of unique. Could you imagine playing like Obra Dinn with that graphical style as a first-person shooter and having to be kind of like quick to move through, and suddenly there's just some black pixels here like moving towards you, like, oh shit, there's something over there, like
probably just vomit.
I mean, I know that would give me a headache.
Yeah.
But this, Project Warlock does it so well.
Yeah.
That just when something appears, you're like, bam. Yeah, I got you. Bam. Yeah, I got you. Like it has that really good kind of.
Sorry, Ben. I'll tell you in a second.
No, go on.
I was just having a look at like similar games to like Strafe, because I knew quite a few of them came out last year.
Oh,
no, sorry, like Dusk. Yeah, Strafe. So I just went on Google and it was like people also search for like Iron Maiden, Quake, and there's also Dots. It's like, who's searching for Quake and then like a match-free puzzle game?
Doesn't say sponsored underneath the title.
No, it's just like people search for all first-person shit. Dots, a puzzle game. Like,
brilliant.
All right. I think Google's algorithm's slightly off there, but you never know.
Maybe that does lead me quite well into Dangerous Driving. Talking of puzzle games, Danger Zone 2 were good, like, driving crash simulator puzzle games. Dangerous Driving is not a puzzle game at all. It is just an arcade racer.
Right.
Obviously using the same engine. It does have those same kind of like crash physics, but you don't want to crash because you're racing most of the time. Some of the game modes you're trying to smash your opponents, so they crash. Brilliant. But you're not experiencing dangerous driving in the same way that you're experiencing like a game like Danger Zone. And I think there's a bit of a disconnect between the two. It is Dangerous Driving at its heart is an arcade racer. That's exactly what it is. It feels like not just an arcade racer in style, but an arcade racer. So you pick the class of vehicle you want to play in. You then pick a race that you want to do, or a mode that you want to not a mode. Basically, there's a list of different races, and the first one might just be a standard race. You have to go around this lap 3 times and be the fastest. Brilliant. The next one might be something called Heat Wave, where these games you have a boost, and in Heat Wave, if you continuously use your boost, it will just refill your boost bar, and you'll keep going at like a slightly quicker speed than your normal thing, and then you get down to the bottom and it will keep it, and it's called the heat wave. So you keep trying to stay on boost as much as possible, and then it'll be another one like Pursuit or Showdown or whatever all of these other sort of different game modes are.
They sound very racy, not in a sexual way, but just very racing game.
Ooh, super 80s arcade racing game as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it does evoke
every Need
games.
for Speed subtitle.
Yeah, well, that's true. It does evoke things like Outrun or what was that game like? The Lotus Lamborghini one, whatever that one was on the Genesis.
Not familiar.
Like those kind of arcade races where it was all pixel art and you are the car right in the middle, and you kind of like swerve from side to side, and you're trying to miss cars as they're coming towards you, and you're trying to just race and stuff. It really feels like a very updated version, a very modern version of those kind of games, which is brilliant. But I want from this game to be able to just have it a bit more open than it is, and to kind of think, I want to just have a normal race. I just want a normal race. I want to use these cars. I want to do it on this track. But I don't have the ability to do that, because it forces you to play through each of those different mode and map combinations as it determines. So I'm only about halfway through. I've just unlocked, is it supercars? I think I've just unlocked supercars or hypercars or whatever they call them.
Do they have any like licensed cars?
No. So you start off as like a sedan. So it's just a generic sedan, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But
it's a lower budget game, so
you unlock like an advanced sedan, a tuned sedan. As you kind of play through different modes and stuff. You then get SUV, you then get coupe. I think then it's sports, and then it's like a Formula 3 car, maybe.
Okay.
But it's a great accomplishment based on the fact that it's a small team, and Danger Zone came out last year at some point, so they've absolutely churned this game out. It looks beautiful as well. The lighting effects on it are phenomenal. The way that there's kind of puddles on the road, and the way the light kind of bounces around, and occasionally, as I imagine you would do if you're driving at like 150 kilometers an hour,
like motion
suddenly you're like,
stuff.
where's motion blur completely, like where's the turning? Oh shit, there it is. Okay. Super arcadian, that you bounce off the sides quite a lot. It's very forgiving in how it pings you around and things.
Yeah.
But there's enough like jank to it that it gets a bit frustrating. So I was playing a race, and I was in first, and I basically got some air, which you can do off a couple of jumps. If you boost, suddenly you're in the air, and you get extra boost for doing air. But I boosted, and I jumped up, and I landed back on a hill, and I start back up this hill, and suddenly I hit absolutely nothing. And the car then just won't go forward. It won't start, it won't move. I'm thinking, oh no. And one person passed me, and then suddenly I could drive again. I'm like, oh, okay, that's annoying.
Yeah.
And there's a few little bits to this which make it slightly frustrating, which is why it's been very much pick up and put down for me. Why I haven't just bashed out all of these races. It hasn't compelled me to be like, yes, I want to play the next race, especially if it's a mode I'm not that keen on. I kind of think, well, I'll come back to it tomorrow or in a few days time.
That's the thing. It's made in Unreal Engine 4, so no wonder it looks very pretty. That's the thing with this studio. It seems like they it's just unfortunate because everyone loved the Burnout series.
Yeah.
And it seems like they are recapturing that magic, but it's just in very like separate experiences, like if as you say, like Danger Zone and stuff like that. It's a shame that they don't have the kind of like budget and legs to make it all encompassing package. But obviously, the size of the team, having to make a game, get revenue from that in order to make another game bigger, a little bit bigger in scope, and just go forward in that direction. Hopefully, one day they'll get the budget to make a full-on Burnout spiritual successor. So
completely, I think all of these have been self-published so far. So it would be interesting if they jump into bed with someone to give them a little bit more to do that. But I would imagine that through all of these iterations that we're seeing of the games, Danger Zone 2 improved on Danger Zone. It took it to a more realistic kind of environment rather than this simulation style. So suddenly they had to build tracks and worlds and things rather than it being in a box. Obviously Dangerous Driving improves on that because it is a fully realised track, so you're going through different environments, and they've got sort of desert, mountain, snowy. They repeat some of the maps at night, which of course give it a slightly different kind of feel to it. Some of them are reversed, so they've played around a lot with kind of what they've been able to make in that amount of time, which is really good. It shows that they understand how to produce a game, and hopefully not to be able to push people too hard into getting it out on a certain sort of time scale and things.
And I hope they continue having that goodwill of being known as the guys and gals who made, not made, but participate heavily in the Burnout series. I hope that goodwill isn't going to run out with some people. Hopefully they can just continue with that, because you'd imagine so, like most people, unless you're going to have an absolute train wreck like what's the Mighty Number 9 geezer? Christ, what is his name? Yeah. Unless but even then, if he, unless he's going back to Kickstarter, I think if someone said, "Oh yeah, he's making another game," I think people would, still have some of that nostalgia left inside of them to be like, okay, cool.
But I imagine, that would be diminished after something like Mighty Number 9. I don't think. In the same sort of vein, I don't think Dangerous Driving is quite the train wreck that Mighty Number 9
was. Oh god, no. I'm just saying, unless it was something that bad, I think their goodwill could...
Yes,
very
much.
Carry over for several
But it is a different game. It's a different, completely different genre. Yes, it's driving a car, but, I love that, idea that Danger Zone was a puzzle game, and you had to work out the best way to get the maximum amount of points per kind of per encounter. But this is just a racing game, which is fine. I got no problem with racing games. It doesn't quite do quite as much for me. A lot of racing games are quite prescribed in this way. You played something like Drive Club or Gran Turismo, and they're like, here is the race. This is
good racing game. I play Forza.
Well, so they very much differ in kind of their presentation. So they're very much like, this is the race that you're going to play now. These are the cars that you can select. Danger Zone kind of flips it and goes, this is the car. These are now the races that you need to play in order to move through and then unlock the next tier of fast cars, which is fine. They needed some kind of progression in that, and it follows over from the Danger Zone games, where you just went, I'll play this one now, and then I play this one, and then I play this one. It sort of apes that kind of very well. It does feel again like an arcade game. You play an arcade game, you roll through the first race, you then move on to the next race. You don't get to choose what you're kind of doing. It is just given to you in a very set sort of order.
Yeah.
I don't know whether...
No, carry on.
I was going to say, I don't know whether that was a time constraint more than anything. We really think that we need to get this out in this time, and this is the best way for us to present this and to put this sort of forward. So I'm really interested to see what they do next.
Yeah. Have you been listening to a Spotify account whilst you've been playing it, or your own music?
I've actually... I've got it on PS4. I could listen to Spotify. I haven't been.
Right.
but I've not really played it in big chunks. So
Right.
I've maybe only played 1 or 2 races in a session, and then gone, okay, I'm going to go and do something else. So
is it notice? Do you think if you played it for long stretches of time, like sparseness of music would?
yeah, there's no music whilst you're racing.
Or has it got enough cool rum sounds to where you might not notice?
It might do for some people, definitely not for me. I would, if I was going to think there and sit there and think, I'll play for an hour, I would want something on in the background, definitely, to play along with.
Because when I played Forza Horizon 4, I was just listening to classic FM and it was great.
Yeah.
It was like, as I'm like just driving through hedges, and it's like, this is the best thing ever. Because I don't know.
You could do in game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, their version of classic FM is set in the UK. But yeah, it was funny because on the radio, like, this old geezer would just be like saying, "Oh, all these young'uns in their cars, driving around loud music, driving through like hedgerows." That's a good game. But yeah, it's like music. I wouldn't say it's quite intrinsically involved in like that genre as much as like, I don't know, like a Tony Hawk game or something. But I think it's just nice to chill out and listen to music. But they have the Spotify thing, so
they do. Pretty I can
cool.
put Spotify on completely. I mean,
but you need a Spotify account, and I know nothing about Spotify. Is it free? I don't know.
But saying that about like the music being intrinsic to something like Tony Hawk, actually, thinking back to like Burnout Paradise, it's always got music on in the background.
Yeah.
And people remember those soundtracks to like Burnout as much as they do to like the Tony Hawk games. Or not me, because I can't name one fucking song from any of them. I do remember listening to a lot of Sublime whilst playing Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX, because they had what I've got, a very short version of it on that game. I'm like, I just want to listen to Sublime now. Anyway, that's
those were good games back then.
Yeah.
Good game.
I think that is maybe something that they could like think about or consider for for the next title that they need to develop is actually licensed music. There is a song on the menu screen, which you never really hear for long enough because you're just getting through the menus to get to the race. So suddenly it starts, and then when you come back out of it, it starts again. And when you come back out of it, it starts again. And you're like, brilliant. Okay, I've heard the same intro 30 seconds of this one song.
Yeah, like some games, like I remember playing FIFA and just being tired of that. Like all the intro songs, it's like, oh god, I have to hear this again. It's like some crap music. The only good menu screen music for me is Mafia 3. It's like all along the Watchtower.
Yeah.
And that was like the only time, apart from at the end of that game, you actually heard that song. That's weird. It's like you get the license for a game, but you can't put it on like the radio or something like in the game. It's just like, alright. Can only hear this when you start the game. Because I just remember I just used to hang on that menu screen for like half an hour, just listening to it over and over again. And
rather than just listening to the song somewhere, just
yeah.
I know what you mean though. There's a couple of, when I was playing Mafia 3, there's a couple of like Creedence Clearwater Revival songs in there.
Yes.
And as I'm tracking through the radio station, like, stop this one. Yes, I must listen to this, and just stop the car, listen to it, and then go again because I was really close to whatever the destination sort of was.
I think that's probably one of the best soundtracks in games ever.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's up there with like Vice City and San Andreas and like that.
Definitely.
Maybe better. I don't know. On par.
Ooh, I think it's difficult.
Got some good songs in there.
It's difficult with open world games because you think of like the Tony Hawk and the Burnout Paradise, in that there were 10 or 15 songs which just looped. With the open world games where you're driving around, you have radio stations, so you can, and what the radio stations are maybe 30 minutes of content before they then kind of like loop again. which is probably the same as like as Burnout Paradise or as one of the Tony Hawk games, with the same amount of time that it then loops back into what it was playing before.
Yeah.
But at least with the open world games, you have some sense of choice. You can pick one of 5 or 10 radio stations and think, I just want to listen to 30 minutes of this.
Couldn't in some of the Tony Hawk's you choose from the menu which song you wanted to listen to? Or am I...
Well, I don't know.
No, I can't remember. Yeah,
Fuck,
it's been a while.
I can't remember.
It's been like 20 years. It's fine. 20 years since a good Tony Hawk game came out.
I do remember in one of the FIFAs.
Yeah.
Probably the last FIFA I had. What was that? Fuck knows. But
97.
was there music in 97? There probably was. Was that the Scratch and Sniff one with Michael Owen on the front?
Oh yeah, that's like...
Was that like 2004 or something like that?
Yeah.
Who knows?
They all the late 90s ones and early 2000s, they all blend in together for me.
Yeah, they do.
I can remember the specific covers, but I can't remember the years.
No.
I think I stopped buying FIFA like 2003. Like, used to buy it like every year. It was like 2000. Or was it 2000? 2008, sorry. I think I had a gap between 2003 and 2008, but then I just stopped buying them.
That's a big gap.
Well, I was growing up. And then I became a little baby again and started playing video games.
Started playing Nintendo games. I don't remember which one it was, but you could in FIFA you can turn off the music, and it had a Head Automatica track on. I love Head Automatica, so I'm like, yep, turn off all of these other songs, just so every time I bump into the menus section, it is just this song.
Brilliant.
But what I've just described from, Dangerous Driving, having one song in the menu system that you're constantly forced to listen to, is a little bit different when you're able to choose what that song is that you're constantly listening to. It's all that choice, I suppose. Again, picking the map you want, picking the the car that you want. It's all that choice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll still play it. I'll finish it.
Yeah. It sounds like a good enough quality game to pick up now and then when you feel like you want to just crash into people.
Completely. And if you've got, it takes you 30 seconds to get into a race, you're then, I suppose, at max racing for maybe 6-7 minutes, perhaps. A lot of them are shorter than that, half that time, 3.5 minutes. So it is definitely a game that you can just pick up and go, I'll just do this race, and just turn off, go and do whatever it was you were doing on the way through. Like, I've played, the majority of times I've played it is when Evelyn is going to bed and she wants Kim to put her down, and the kitchen is directly under Evelyn's bedroom, so I can't do the washing up. I can't do anything because there's no insulation between the floors and she can hear everything. So I'm like, I just have to vacate this room. I'll play 5 minutes of this until she's asleep, and then I'll go back and do the jobs I need to do. So it's really good for fitting in kind of like around
short
life.
bursts. Yeah.
Same with Project Warlock. Those maps take maybe 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And it saves your progress as well. So as soon as you go to the next map, if you come out of it, it will put you back there. Brilliant. So
check that out.
Yeah, it's these little experiences. Now that I've churned through like the Division 2 and stuff, that's what I want. That's why I want this now 30-minute aerial dilemma or whatever we said it was game to play.
Antenna dilemma. Yeah. I'm definitely in that kind of mood. Like
yeah.
After just rinsing Yoshi, got Box Boy out tomorrow. God, I'll rinse that. That's all I've been waiting for. Yoshi and Box Boy. Just simple Nintendo games.
Year done. Don't need anything else.
Basically. No, this year's been weird, to be honest, because it's like, it's April, quarter of the way through the year. No, third of the way through the year now. It's like, Resident Evil 2 is still my favourite game of the year. I said at the start of the year I wouldn't be surprised if that won Game of the Year for like outlets, and unless, not much has been announced for the rest of the year, so
No.
but it's a hell of a game.
I mean, what have we got? Rage 2?
Nothing.
Can't be far away.
Oh, we got Days Gone. That's definitely going to be game. Oh no, sorry.
Crackdown? Oh no.
Yeah, no, it's going to be on my
we do
top
have
10, I'm sure.
the new Wolfenstein game is this year, isn't it?
Yeah, screw Resident Evil has to be. No, Doom.
Ooh.
Doom's going to be number 1.
Is it going to be this year though? With it, so
It
do
better
we
be.
expect Doom and Wolfenstein to both come out this year?
Yeah, because Wolfenstein's coming out in July. I'd imagine that's their big October game.
Give a good sort of like give the good summer period between the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, Doom game of the year.
Is it Youngblood?
Wolfenstein
Youngblood?
Yeah,
Something like that.
Two Bloods. Yeah, Young Blood.
Two Bloods.
Two Bloods and a Crip. Yeah.
I can imagine it's maybe a shorter experience as well. That it's not going to be kind of like the length. It's not going to be the length that like Wolfenstein 2 was. Yeah.
I'd love like a 6-hour experience, so that's never going to happen. But I don't know. I mean, I could see how much it is on the store. I don't think it's a full price game.
Mate, because I know that it's isn't it touted co-op as well?
Yeah.
So you can play as each sister, like 2 people can play as each sister. Like
and
when that comes out, if it is a 6-hour game,
yeah,
we are doing that.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. Oh no, we can't. Because you're definitely going to get it on PlayStation. I'm definitely going to get it on Xbox. Just get it on PC. Just get it on
there we go.
the Microsoft Store.
We'll get it through the fucking Epic Store or whatever it will be exclusive to.
No, I don't think Bethesda game.
No, I wouldn't imagine so.
Maybe it's on Bethesda Net. Yeah, Wolfenstein Youngblood. Let's see how much money it is.
£6.50.
It just says play on Xbox, but I don't own it and it's not out yet, so yeah, just get it on PlayStation.
Nice. Oh, so we're going to be playing Wolfenstein Youngblood on PlayStation.
No, actually, I bet it comes out on Switch, and I bet it's crossplay for Xbox.
Ooh.
And then we're going to play nicely together, me and my Zero Switch friends, because no one can trade their codes. Me and Adel, 12 years later, when he gets around to buying it on Switch. Yeah. And then the actual Nazis would have taken over, so.
Oh dear. That's a good place to finish our lives. So, Lucy, your Magic Rock beer, how was it at the end? Did it stay good? Was it enjoyable all the way through?
Yeah. I mean, we've been recording for an hour? Maybe less.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Yeah, almost an hour. Yeah, I could have just knocked that back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If I wasn't talking. It's really, 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 really good. But it's just a well-balanced IPA. Towards drinking it later, didn't get... At the very start, it felt quite dry, but I think I just became accustomed to it, and it wasn't too bad. So that's why I was able to, spread it out over the hour. But yeah, it's a really, really, really good beer.
Nice.
Super good. I don't know why I haven't picked this up again. Maybe because I haven't seen it. Maybe I don't know. It's not part of their core range. I wonder when this was bottled. Maybe this is 2 years old. I'm drinking a 2-year-old beer.
A 2-year-old beer that tastes absolutely
great. Yeah. She's got better with age. Yeah, it's collaboration with Yakima Chief hops. Yeah, it's really good.
It's got to have dates on there, surely.
Yeah, it's best before August this year, so who knows? But yeah, it's really good.
Tell you when though.
It's really good, really good, really good beer. I mean, Magic Rock makes some amazing beer, and I don't know how the quality could get worse. It just won't. I won't let it. I won't let them.
Well, that's it, isn't it? All we can do is try the beers from them in the future and see kind of what has changed, I suppose.
Yeah, because I picked it up in a bar, and bar prices are usually a little bit more than a bigger bottle shop and stuff like that. So I was just like, I want some good tasting beers, value for money. I picked up Magic Rock beer and an Arbor beer.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like if they could get those in supermarkets for like even cheaper than they do now, because their beers are really cheap anyway.
Yeah, they are.
£3 for like 500ml. Happy days. I'll die a happy woman in Tesco. Just
Nice.
slurping up that vocation, love and hate, which I've just been drinking religiously recently. So good.
Ooh, good. The Wylam and Other Half collaboration. Is there music in your dreams? Maybe, I have no idea.
No.
Having a quick look at best before dates goes out, or is best before my birthday, so I could buy another one and save it until my birthday to have on that day.
Or you could just drink
Just buy
several
another one and
hundred
drink it
beers
instantly.
before
Yeah. I mean, this was... I would have absolutely demolished the second one of these. Absolutely no doubt. Really good, for all the reasons that it started off was... It stayed the same kind of like throughout.
Yeah.
As you did, maybe became a little bit more accustomed to it as well. So it maybe wasn't quite as dry towards the end as it was when it started out.
Yeah.
But I think I've not drank this for like the last 25 minutes. I smashed this back in about 35 minutes really.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of gagging for another beer now after that.
Me
Because I am
too,
super dry. I'm super dry now.
Oh,
afterwards.
yeah. I feel satiated, but there's an arbor in the fridge
Exactly.
calling my name.
Yeah, completely. So, we're going to go and drink our other beers. Not for you lot, just for us.
No.
But
Yeah.
if you want to get hold of us and tell us what beers you've been drinking or games you've been playing, you can do so in lots of different ways. We are at tankedup_cast on Twitter, tankedupcast@gmail.com if you want to email us any long form thoughts or just to get in touch and chat to us. Maybe you want to come on the podcast, let us know. We're taking guests. Adam's gone. We don't know when he's coming back.
Forever.
Brexit.
Yeah.
On Instagram, forever. He's definitely not gone forever. Even if he's in Canada, we'll find a way. Life finds a way. I'm trying to find what we are on Instagram. Just Tankedupcast on Instagram. Go there. I've been really reticent in my use of Untapped.
Yes.
Where I think we're Untapped, and we're Tankedupcast, I think, on there as well. But Tanked Up Podcast on Untapped. But I've been so slow. The last beer I put on there was a Chimera from Drygate Brewing Company, which was at like Christmas.
Oh wow, it's been that long. Okay.
Jeez.
I'm still on there like a mofo.
Oh no, that's not true. March.
Not so long ago.
Not quite that long ago.
Yeah. I'm always on there because despite what was said last week, I shouldn't rate beers. I still rate them because I had a very good beer last week. No, this week. You see, this is why I have to put them there because everything malt. I have a bad memory.
I know what you
mean.
Like
you can like remember beers like Rain Man. You're like a savant, and I'm just like, yeah, like beers that I've drank, and I'm just like, yeah, sure, I drank them. Just listen to Ben. Yeah, that's what I put.
Well, I almost picked up a beer earlier, and I'm like, I think Lucy's had this. I won't pick this up.
Well, there you go. And
there was
I never know
Admonson beer as well. Yeah, there was the Admonson beer that Adel had a few episodes ago. I'm like, no, he's had this. I won't pick this up. I have got an Admonson in the fridge. I might drink it now.
So good.
I might not save it for the podcast next week. I might just drink
it.
Don't. Drink it.
Just devour that whole. Just smash it into your forehead and just.
So I'm going to drink an Amundsen. Yes. If you want to tell me about Amundsen beers that you've drank, I'm at Nova_47. Lucy on Untapped and everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
You are Juicy Loose 9.
Everywhere.
Even just in life, just text Juicy Loose 9 done.
Yeah, the courts are still approving the name. They've got a problem with the 9 at the end.
Soon by deed poll to literally be everywhere. So, have you got any closing thoughts on your beer or on the games this week, Lucy?
No, I should by next week have more games to talk about, like Box Boy, and that's probably it. But
yeah, gone obviously.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to waste my money on that. And just download awesome aerial antenna dilemma. Because it's if you got half an hour free, it's quite a nice little rock. So.
Nice.
Free games are good. Even free games is good. We're spoiled.
We are. There's always free games.
Mm.
Just go to itch.io, there's always free games.
Oh,
so, for another week, we have been tanked up. Bye-bye.
Ciao.